636-339-1140.
On Sactown Sports.
Welcome back. We always say we never have enough time with Sean Salisbury, so no screwing around. Dave, joining us right now. It is Sean Salisbury. Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Great.
Well, we're not Mavericks fans. I know you're Houston, but are any of those protests and everything coming out of Dallas hitting your area?
No, because people here, the Dallas and Houston, they're ecstatic when the Cowboys or the Mavericks or the Rangers do something stupid. So, yeah, there's more buzz about the Luka Doncic trade for Anthony Davis than there is about the good Rockets team that's kicking ass. So, yeah, I'm kidding, obviously, but through the state of Texas, people are shaking their head at, I know one probably needs to mix in a salad every now and again, but he's a great scorer. And I know the other one pulled his hamstring when they actually told him about the trade. But that being said, when they're both on the court, they're damn good players. I just was shocked at the lack of assets that the Mavericks got back, and people in this town absolutely love it when any of those towns, whenever that happens to somebody in Dallas. I'm different because I lived in Dallas for over a decade and love it, but it's fun to watch. That's for damn sure.
That was an elite tweet, by the way, Sean, on AD pulling that hamstring.
Thanks.
I love that one. I just love different markets, too. Look, you're in Houston. You do a show there. We're here in Sacramento, where obviously you have a lot of we're a basketball-heavy town that still likes football. What's dominating kind of the early part of this week? More Super Bowl talk for you, or more of this NBA circus that has happened?
You know what's great? The major, obviously, talk about the NBA. Thinking type of stuff. But in truth, the Chiefs and Eagles talk is really third or fourth on the list. Hell, Alex Bregman talked because of Boris and him. Everybody thought he'd be gone or here earlier. And heck, we're now into February, and he still doesn't have a home, which is a bit shocking. So because he was one of the original guys when this World Series run started to happen. But even more than the Super Bowl is the referee, that talk that goes on, the referees and getting the calls. It's almost kind of diminished just how good the Chiefs are. But we're making a lot of talk. But as far as feedback, there's very few people that want to talk Super Bowl this week. And I'm sure that's natural when your teams aren't in it. But the thing that's dominated football talk here is getting Nick Caley from the Rams as another offensive coordinator. They've finally found their guy. They think, even though he's inexperienced calling plays, and he comes from that Shanahan, Sean McVay system. But the talk today, most of all, has been more local-related Texans and what they're going to do to upgrade their team, more so than any of the Super Bowl talk, which we're trying to keep at the forefront.
Sean, are people sleeping on the Eagles, or is it more that the Chiefs are just so damn inevitable?
You know what? I think it's a combination of both. I think that it's that if they have the ball last, meaning the Chiefs, it's inevitable that they're going to find a way to get it done because Andy plays big in these games. They know how to win games. They are always close. They give themselves a chance. They're the best situational team on the planet. And right now, the best winning franchise in sports and pro sports. That's how good they are right now. But I do think now. I think on the national media, maybe the fatigue is saying, and people are going to pick the Eagles on sheer fatigue alone. They just are. But yet, I try to step back and say fatigue. It's the villain. You guys saw that with Golden State, obviously, and we see it a lot of times. They become this upstart team, and then when they start dominating, everybody can't stand them. They become the villain, and the guys, the same reason we love them, and now we don't like them, and that's what the Kansas City Chiefs. Great head coach, great guy. The quarterback's a good dude, and they win. So when you win, we're looking for another reason. So I think that's why the most of the country is, I'm picking Philly because I don't want it. It's not necessarily breaking down the true X's and O's of why the Kansas City Chiefs are the greatest situational team. And then there's the old, the elephant in the room over the extra treatment that is perceived that they're getting. And in some cases, it's not perceived by some. So, but I do think it's an underrated Philadelphia team for a team that dismantled Washington, has played good football, came back from disappointment, and early in the season, Nick Sirianni arguing with fans that is he going to get fired? And now look at him. Hurts played great 2 weeks ago. They got the best. Well, I can argue he's been the best football player in the league this year, even though he's not going to win the MVP. He will win Offensive Player of the Year. All those things. Philadelphia, this is a game that Philadelphia can definitely win, because if the Chiefs play ugly and kind of flounder around, they're able to kill the clock, meaning wear you out with Saquon Barkley catching it and running it. And I think two of the things that are really overlooked, you get two Hall of Fame-style defensive coordinators if we put assistant coaches in Fangio and Steve Spagnuolo. And Spagnuolo's best big game coordinator, one of the 3 or 4 best of all time. And so here we are, and their challenge is, how do you stop the Chiefs from doing those little things on 3rd and 4 to get 5 yards, and then to take Mahomes somewhat out of his game, yet when you do, he still finds ways. And then for Spagnuolo, how are you going to stop Saquon Barkley? Or is it he'll get his like Michael Jordan? You just can't let Hurts go 18 of 21 or A.J. Brown to catch 3 touchdowns. That'll be the challenge, and both of them are faced with a huge one. And I do think Philadelphia on the national scope is probably getting more love, meaning prediction-wise or betting-wise because of the fatigue. But I'm not sure they're buying into the X's and O's yet. I would, because this is a really good football team.
You know, Sean, as you described the Chiefs, I'm thinking, look, there's teams that are elite offensively or elite defensively. But as you talk about them being so good situationally, man, that's got to be one of the best superpowers in the league. How do the Chiefs combat a team that's the Eagles combat a team that's so good in those situations you're talking about?
If there's a way to one of two, first off, I'm still begging for somebody to, at the line of scrimmage, take Kelsey off his mark, meaning don't let him get a free release where 8 yards down the field is when you finally engage him. I know you can't hold him past 5, but you get my point. You got to make the rhythm of it go away. You saw what the Texans did. They allowed him to operate in space, and 130 yards or whatever later, he's dominating the game. And they're really not star-powered on offense. Worthy's a good player. Hopkins has been a great player. They just beat you with simple stuff, even though they make it look complex, little bubble screen here, getting it to Kelsey on 3rd and 5, Mahomes off schedule. In truth, their offense has been, they've picked it up late in the season in the playoffs, but they haven't been pretty much all year long. But the situational part, if it's 3rd and 4, they're getting a first down. If it's 4th and 1, they call the right play. If they need to get off the field on a corner blitz that you don't see from the wide receiver position on the last game against Buffalo, they do something every game that allows them to be successful. So it's a great challenge. You know, you'd say put Mahomes on his back, but when the guy's falling down, he makes throws. I think the whole key is to make it 3rd and long to where you can pressure them, force a hot read, tackle, and still get them to punt if they'll do that on 4th and 4 at their own 40. I think that's a great challenge, and until somebody knocks out the champ, you got to say, man, can they? The truth of the matter is the superstar on the Kansas City Chiefs is their defense and Spagnuolo. Yet in situations, there's no team on the planet better than the Kansas City Chiefs offense. So they are really good at not caring how they do it as long as it gets done. And for my money, the best coach in the NFL resides right. And Mike Tomlin's really good, but Andy Reid's the best coach, and it helps to have the best player. And, you know, most of all, the last 5 or 8 years, whatever, 6 years or 7 years from Mahomes. Hell, it's probably been longer than that. But you got that guy, and that you could kind of turn him loose. But Andy Reid's brilliant with the plays. He never gets overly emotional, and he's an in-game adjuster that other people just don't understand. He's the best in the world at it right now.
Sean, I want to go back to what you said, and you were, of course, correct that, you know, we can talk all we want about Pat Mahomes, but it's going to be Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen winning the MVP with Saquon Barkley 3rd. Mahomes might finish 4th. But let me ask you this. Take contract, take age, take every single thing into account. Is Patrick Mahomes the one player in the NFL that no one would is Patrick Mahomes still, in your mind, the most untouchable player in the NFL? Is there any other player that if somebody called up the Chiefs and said, hey, we'll give you Josh Allen, we'll give you Lamar Jackson, it doesn't matter who it is, don't the Chiefs hang up on every single offer, or is there somebody out there?
Yeah, he's the biggest sacred cow in the league is what you're asking. Yeah, put it this way. I'm a guy, if I'm a GM, I answer every phone call because I'm know I'm going to go where you're saying. I know where you're going. Yeah. I'm at least listening to every damn thing you got. That's my responsibility as a front office. I'm always looking to improve my team. And then my players need to know that I'm always looking for somebody better than you. Now, the key is, can you find it? And the player's job is to make sure that you never find anybody better than him. Yes, he's the biggest sacred cow in the league because he wins. He's a good dude. He makes players better, and he can put up big numbers and beat you that way. Or this year, he can find a way to go throw for 175 yards and still beat you. That's the sign of winning under any circumstance. So, yes, there's not a player in the league that you would call player for player. Not Lamar, not Josh Allen, not Joe Burrow. All of them now, they fall in the sacred category. They're all probably saying the same thing. Oh, I'm not trading yet. If Mahomes called Cincinnati, even as good as Burrow is, they probably said, well, let me listen. What do you got for us? Andy's not listening. The front office isn't listening. He is the top dog, biggest face on the Mount Rushmore, untouchable player in the league. And let me make one point. The MVP voting, in my opinion, is going to go Allen close over Jackson, even though you could give it to Jackson. I just think they're going to vote Allen in, Jackson second, Barkley third, and he'll win Offensive Player of the Year. Burrow's going to finish fourth in my mind, and Goff fifth. Here's Mahomes, the biggest sacred cow in the league, once again posting 15 wins, and his numbers weren't as gaudy, yet when the game is on the line, 15's the one guy you want with the ball, and he's not going to sniff the MVP award this year, but still the biggest sacred cow we got.
Last thing, we're out of time. Sean, got to get a prediction for you. Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl, who you got?
Well, I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I'm going, how about 31-30 Chiefs?
Woo.
And they win it. They're down 30-28, and they just happen to give Mahomes a minute 25 left and Andy Reid, and they win on a walk-off field goal. How's that?
You know what's funny about that, Sean, is that I think if people were listening at first, they'd be like, gee, Sean, that's like a Hollywood movie. Like, good luck in that happening. But if you've watched all the Chiefs Super Bowls, exactly. I hate to say it, but weirdly, Sean, that's almost not a gutsy pick on your part. And I mean that with all love, because that's what the hell they do.
True. No, it's as basic a pick as there is. It's as obvious a pick as there is. Because,
right.
And not only in big games like Super Bowl, all year long. Oh, we need a kick. Yeah, kick it.
Right.
Oh, we need a block kick, or you to miss a kick. It's happened all year. So what in the hell would make it any difference for them to go win their third in a row for the first time ever and to do it in dramatic fashion? I don't believe we're going to get boredom out of this. I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to see if Jalen Hurts, if it gets into a throwing contest, if Jalen Hurts can stay and steady their team. I just don't see how I don't see how Barkley doesn't at least get his. Kind of like Mahomes. It'll be a game I think it's a last possession game, but you're right. That's not exactly going out on a limb with the way the Chiefs have done it.
Amen, brother. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Can't wait to recap it with you next week. Take care.
All right. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Sean Salisbury will take a break. Hey, let's double up on some football, shall we? Since we haven't talked it all week long. We'll get back into Kings, Fox, well, mostly Levine. Jason, not that we're done with the Fox thing.
Yeah.
Have we hit the point, I feel, now where we can start to shift towards the future of the Kings?
Yeah, we need to. And Levine debuts tomorrow.
I mean, we've got a new sponsor now for the De'Aaron Fox scoreboard that will be running each and every day, keeping track of his games and their wins and all that on your home of the Spurs. But I think we should move forward, too.
Okay, we will.
We'll take a break. We'll do that 4 Down territory as well next.